Now, here's another question that a lot of us are getting. Is the market turning into a buyer's market? And this as really a market by market conversation, but I will tell you that we could have easily a situation in a lot of markets where you actually have a couple different markets within the larger market. What that means is that markets aren't just one thing. They are a whole list of price bands, right? So you have lower tier price bands, mid-tier price bands, higher price bands. And in your market, as the market is transitioning, it's not all one thing. So you could have a lower tier price band that is still a strong seller's market. Lots of demand because that's where first-time home buyers go, right? But then as you move up the ladder, you might see that, hey, you know what? At the higher tiers, the luxury housing, for instance, that it is a buyer's market. So what's the defining factor here? You got to say to yourself, what does it mean? I mean, how do I measure this? The way you measure this is by looking at the months of supply. So months of supply is the ultimate measurement, right? When you're at 6 months of supply and below, that is typically what you would call a seller's market. In other words, sellers have a little bit more pricing power. They're going to be much more apt to get higher prices, and they have a little bit more ability to, really command a premium price in most cases, right? We've been used to sub 30-day markets, right? But as we start to climb the ladder, we see it's 3 months or 4 months. We're like, oh my gosh, it's a buyer's market. Not yet. When it hits 6 months, that's when you truly have entered that threshold. You've crossed that threshold as a buyer's market. When the number is 6 months or below, it's a seller's market. When it gets 6 months or above, it becomes a buyer's market. In other words, buyers have more power because sellers have a lot more competition. It's likely they're not getting as many showings on their house. They're not getting as many offers on their house. So you have a lot more power as a buyer. So when you look at that and you look at your price bands in your market, you can say, okay, this price band is still a seller's market. The next price band is a buyer's market. The next price band is a buyer's market. This is where our coaching with our clients is really important. Setting expectations with sellers when we're sitting down and saying, well, in our price band right here, we're actually in a buyer's market already. We have 7 months of supply, for homes that are $1.5 million, or whatever your numbers are in your market. Same thing with buyers. When I'm sitting down with the buyer, I can say, hey, you know what? The market is changing. In some price categories, it's a buyer's market, but where your guys are looking, you're looking at, the first-time home buyer market. There's still a lot of buyers in that market. That's why the months of supply is only 2 months. 6 months, we would call, that's kind of the break point for becoming a buyer's market. We're still in a pretty strong seller's market, meaning sellers have some power here because there's not a lot to choose from for buyers. So we just got to educate our clients, really be the expert in the room. We're not trying to sell. We're just trying to influence. We're trying to give people good information that will influence their decision making, and they'll make better decisions for themselves. So you want to create informed consumers, and informed consumers become raving fans, right? So hopefully that helps you. Go out there and crush the market. Have a great day. I hope to see you right back here real soon at eRealEstateCoach.com.